Hi, thank you for clicking on the video, and I hope everyone is doing really well. So I didn't really have any particular subject or video idea planned for today, but I knew I wanted to film something, but I really didn't know what to film. And I was just catching up on some Freelee videos, aka watching every single diet review video she's made in the past 2 months since the last time I watched one of her videos. So I was watching one of her videos, and first she said something that I was like, that is incorrect. That is not factual whatsoever. Followed by a statement that was shocking that someone would willingly say this, which then led me to want to kind of rebuttal both of her statements that she made in the comments. I started scrolling through the comments and realized there's not a whole lot of opposition against her in the comments. I'm not sure she's really willing to have open dialogue with people who oppose her. Maybe she's deleting those comments, or maybe people are just afraid to comment because they know either it will be deleted or she's just gonna be mean or something. I don't know. Whatever I title this video will give some hint as to what I'm talking about, but for more clarification, you're probably wondering, what the heck are you talking about? What video, what statements, what comment section? Because that's what I want to talk about, is the comment section on this particular video. The title of the video in question is Freelee reacts to Supreme Banana calling her a cult leader plus WIED. I think she forgot couple of letters there because I think it's supposed to be what I eat in a day, and instead it's just what I eat day. Brief backstory: there is a YouTuber named Cami who a long time ago went by the name Supreme Banana. She was a follower of Freelee's dietary lifestyle, raw till 4, a high carb, low fat vegan diet, that sort of time in history that existed. And in this video, Freelee is watching Cami watch her old Supreme Banana What I Eat in a Day video and react to it. And Freelee's reacting to that video of Cami watching her own video. Makes sense? Cami talks about, was she in a cult? Was the raw till 4 high carb low fat diet a cult movement? And Freelee was like, I guess in a sense it is cult, because cult is just short for culture.
Oh man, sometimes I look back and I'm like, were we in a cult? Were we in a cult, and was Freelee our ringleader?
Okay. Yes, okay. I mean, cult is just short for culture.
I mean, I'm assuming the word cult did originate as a shortened version of culture, because a cult is a culture of people with similar or same mindset. That was the first statement she made, was cult is just short for culture. So yeah, it is a cult in the sense that it's a culture of healthy living, is essentially what she said. Followed by Cami saying, if she wasn't a cult, was Freelee the cult leader? First of all, she denies that it is a cult, but if it was a cult and she is the cult leader, that would be a label that she would be proud to have.
So if I am seen as a cult leader, leading, a culture of healthy eating and eating as much as you care for, never restricting your calories, showing women how to eat enough and actually get healthy and lose weight the healthy way, then if I'm guilty of that, then heck yes, I'm that cult leader. That
was the statement that shocked me. Followed by extra shock reading the comment section, which is what my video is gonna focus on. The clueless, ignorant, just backwards thinking of Freelee's followers, to the point it does remind me of a cult. The way they defend her and say, yeah, she's our cult leader, and they're proud of that. That's characteristics of legitimately being in a cult and being brainwashed, which is a characteristic of being in a cult, is being brainwashed to basically unquestionably defend your leader. I want to talk about the comments, some of the comments that I read, my opinion of Raw Till 4, because yes, I was part of the Raw Till 4 high carb, low fat lifestyle movement, whatever, way back in the day, many years ago. Just a little background in me. Well, it's not an organization or group of people that has made national headlines or even local headlines as a cult, but I was part of a group, a religious group, that many of us who have left and denounced that group would categorize it as a cult. I wasn't born into it, joined around the age of 12, at first very apprehensive and confused by why my family had joined this community. Gradually over time, it took about 3 years, and I was in. Like, brain 100% in. Took about another 3 years for me to be like, wait, what the fuck? And about another 2 years after that to fully distance myself from that community and not go back to it. I made a lot of friends there, and a lot of them have left as well, and we will, all of us will say it was a cult. Cults are not a positive thing, and reading the comments on this video, people do not realize how evil cults are and the fact that they are part of one. Let's just read some. It's kind of scary that there are people who will take a dietary choice to this extreme, and it's also kind of funny. And Freelee liked a lot of these comments. The cult of living a long, healthy, satisfying, and compassionate life, living within the laws of nature and away from a lifetime of endless pharmaceutical, drugs, and surgical procedures, dependency on stimulants sounds like the life for me. Okay. Let's break this down. Long, healthy, satisfying, and compassionate life. A long life is not guaranteed, no matter what diet you are on. Healthy is relative. Satisfying is up to the individual. Compassionate life, I will grant you that one because veganism is a compassionate choice. But the fact that you are willing to say the cult of doing these things is disturbing. Freelee is my favorite health cult leader. Really likes that one. And this is the thing about people who are in a cult. You can't tell them they're in a cult. They will immediately go into defense mode, and you've just put a wall up. So this video is not for anyone who is still in the cult. That's so fucked up. Freelee is my favorite health cult leader. There are super evil cults who do super evil things under the guise of health and compassionate living and Christianity, religion, you know, all of these masks. And then there's like less evil cults that just sort of warp your mind into this robotic thinking the same and not questioning your leader. You know what I'm saying? I'm really not trying to say that Freelee is an evil woman. Not. I don't think she is. I honestly don't. Love how she just throws around the word cult. My friend who grew up in a cult, an actual cult, did not have access to Google till she escaped when she was 18 and all the kids were sex trafficked. Maybe she shouldn't be throwing the word cult around, except for the fact that it does scream cult. So she's just calling it what she believes it to be, possibly. If it meets the criteria of a cult, it's a cult, and we should not be shamed or censored into calling it something else when that is what it is. Yeah, and there are people who, grew up in a cult where it was, complete isolation. You create this dependency on the cult, which, again, I see within this dietary movement. This is also from someone who I don't know if this person supports Freelee, follows Freelee's dietary advice and lifestyle, but if she does, this is just clear indication that she does not fully understand what makes something cult status, because she recognizes that her friend was in a cult because evil things were done. And now she's probably like, those evil things are not happening here, so therefore it can't possibly be a cult. You don't have to be sex trafficked to be part of a cult. Like, that's not the criteria. If you're a cult leader, then count me in. Really liked it. That's the blind, unquestioning faith that you put into your cult leader right there. And you will defend them even with stupidity. Freelee, please never change. Your guidance, fortitude, tenacity are indescribably important to the animals, people, and the planet. The very first statement, Freelee, please never change, indicates the cult leader is usually on a higher plane than the rest of us. They are on a pedestal, they are godlike, and therefore God should never change. God does not change. Therefore, Freelee, never change. Please never change, because, well, first of all, if she did, this group, this movement, this lifestyle would disintegrate, and that cannot happen because Freelee has the power and she can't lose that power. Freelee, if you're a cult leader, I am proud to be part of this cult. At least they know they're in a cult. And that's the other thing, is I don't think the people writing these comments realize that they are admitting to being in a cult, while simultaneously saying it's not a cult. Proud to be a part of Freelee's fruit cult. I feel like people here are just throwing the word cult around willy-nilly. There are tons and tons of very similar comments to that, and it's disturbing. I hope we had a fun little laugh at the expense of those commenters. Thank you for the entertainment for today. So next, I'm just going to give a brief summary of my experience in Raw Till 4, high carb, low fat, and basically say whether or not I think it's a cult or not. I cannot definitively say for sure. I'm just going to say that. I turned to Raw Till 4 because it made sense, I think. I was definitely looking for the answer, and that is what most people who fall into a cult are looking for. They're looking for answers, and then they think they found it because they feel accepted and they feel good, and they feel like they're part of something bigger than themselves. And I thought I found answers with Freelee. I thought I found clarity with Freelee, and I think I did for a while. And I made a video a long time ago, many years ago, talking about what Raw Till 4 taught me. And it did teach me how to eat again. I'm not gonna say it's all negative. I feel like Raw Till 4 was a stepping stone for me into my recovery. And it taught me that I am capable of eating a lot more. I am capable of feeling good off of eating more. The problem is, eating more is required for the rest of your life, and my body just can't take that. And it did lead to some health problems, and Freelee can say that I did it wrong. I did not do it wrong. I did exactly as I followed her example. It also created a sense of a fear of fat. Cami talks about that, how fat is stigmatized. It's looked down on, and Freelee immediately said, no, I never, say no fat. Well, to this day, when she is reacting to videos and someone is cooking with oil or eating a higher fat meal, she degrades it. She calls it all sorts of weird, creative insults, talks down to it. That is the subtle brainwashing to fear fat. That's how you do it. You don't straight up say, never eat fat. No. It's in the underlying comments that she makes about fat, about higher fat foods. I mean, I developed orthorexia, essentially, from Raw Till 4 because it created this massive fear of fat. It didn't matter what the source was. Fat was horrifying. Making statements like the fat you eat is the fat you wear creates fear, especially because she targets people who are coming from an eating disorder background. That's incredibly dangerous. I don't know why she hasn't made that connection. I didn't want to talk about my experience for too long because I know I can talk a lot. But I did want to say, basically, I don't think Raw Till 4 is in in and of itself bad. It was a stepping stone for me into recovery, into eating like a normal person again. And that basically my entire life is what I have been like dying to be able to do, is just eat like a normal person. I eat like my friends could eat. I never felt like I could, and now I feel like I sometimes feel like I almost can. Like I'm almost there, and this was a stepping stone. It was part of my journey, but it's not the entirety. And that's the thing, is I don't think it should be done long term or even every single day. Like you could do it on and off again, things like that. But I don't think it's something you live and die by. And that's just my opinion. Is it a cult? Honestly, I don't know, because there's many characteristics of a cult that this movement, this lifestyle does align with. But there are some characteristics of a cult that it doesn't. How many characteristics does it take for it to truly be a cult? I don't really know. I know research has been done into that, and it lists this is what it needs to have to be a cult. Do you need all of them? I don't know. I'm not entirely sure. So I don't know if we can definitively say it is a cult and definitively say that Freelee is a cult leader. It felt very much like that group that I had fallen into as a kid that definitely also meets a lot of cult criteria as well. They felt very similarly. One was a religious group and one is a dietary group. Yet there are so many similarities, and both I can see long term having damaging psychological effects. Like that's what a cult does. It breaks your psyche down until you're a mirror image of the leader. So this video topic came out of nowhere because I really had nothing planned for today, and then this video fell into my lap by the grace of the universe. And I hope you enjoyed it. I think cults are fascinating, probably because I grew up in one. This was a very random topic to talk about, but I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, please give it a thumbs up. If you did not enjoy it, you can give it a thumbs down. That is cool too. I don't mind. If you are not subscribed already, please consider subscribing and be sure to hit the notification bell to stay notified of all future uploads. If you have any comments, questions, video suggestions, anything at all, feel free to leave that in the comment section below. Leave your cult-based comments. Be sure to go follow me over on Instagram, and I will see you next time. Bye!